Afternoon Magic is being brought to you by Cat's Insurance, Blue Ridge Fuel Oil, Pulse One, and The Dating Solution.
Starting off.
We now join this game already in progress.
Like more similar in format to the Pro Tour. There is no handicap. They're bowling heads up, one game. Oh, tough break, 9-10. Good ball.
No handicap has to be added in. They just go head-to-head, and right now, Stacey Palmer has a slight 7-pin advantage.
Sandy in her 15 games, Mike, averaged 133, which is not too shabby. Get her into the Ladies Pro Tour in a minute.
After 3 frames for Sandy Tillman, and stepping in Stacey Palmer. As I mentioned, she is a former champ, looking to do what no one else has ever been able to do in the 12 years of the tournament. That is repeat as a champion. No 2-time champs, and Stacey has an opportunity to do that with a win in these 2 matches coming up.
Stacey averaged approximately 130 for her 15-game qualifying. I tell you what the Invitational does, Mike, it gives us an opportunity to showcase our youth bowler. And these bowlers come out of our National Duckpin Youth Association, which is funded and backed by the Duckpin Bowling Proprietors of America, along with the National Duckpin Bowling Congress. And in showcasing these youth bowlers, it also helps us as proprietors to retain these bowlers. They like this format, and they will bowl many additional years in the youth association rather than prematurely jump into an adult league.
Stacey with a 9-pin advantage. As we mentioned at the top, the Baltimore area Metro division, which this is being represented here by Stacey Palmer, and Sandy Tillman will face off against the eventual winner of the Washington, D.C. metro area, and that'll crown a champ in the tournament on the women's side and on the men's side as well.
So our next game will feature the Baltimore or Division I, as we refer to it, just for referral purposes, with the boys.
Right.
Then the third game we'll have the girls from the Washington area Division II, and we'll get their finalists out of that game. Then the next week we'll start with Division II boys final game, and the last 2 games will be the champions Division I versus Division II. So,
nice ball by Sandy that time. In addition to bowling, Sandy also plays tennis, basketball, and softball.
yes, that was a 10. 38.
Sandy still trailing by the 9 pins.
The 6-10 for a spare break. Wasn't that what she just made? The 6-10 and fouled? That'll be on her mind. When you shoot the corners, Mike, you have to really exaggerate your execution, and it keeps you down a little longer, and as you're down, you're sliding. And it's here at Fairlane Prince Stewart, the only duckpin bowling center in the game to have synthetic lane surfaces and approach surfaces, and they are a little different. I mean, they're ideal, they're beautiful conditions, but there is a little getting used to it.
Stacey smiling as one of her friends in the audience yelling out some encouragement to her.
Well, you think, having been a past winner, that it could possibly be an edge because of the experience. But then you take the other side of the coin and the additional pressure. So it's one game.
A close-up look at the eyes. Stacey Palmer. Oh, just missed it. Stacey bowls out of Parkville.
The eligibility for this, as far as age, Mike, and for our National Duckpin Youth Association, you must be 21 no older than 21 as of August 31st of that bowling season. If your birthday happens to be August 31st and you turn 22, you're not eligible. If you turn 22 on September 1st, then you have another year of eligibility. The ball got on the floor, you heard the thump. It got out of her hand a little early and sort of hit the lane right at the foul line.
Well, the goals that Stacey put down on her information sheet, it asked her for her goals in life, and besides becoming a computer analyst, she wants to improve herself in bowling and possibly break a world record. It certainly is a lofty goal as you can get.
But very possible.
Oh, certainly. Nice 10 for Stacey. 66 after 6. And here's Sandy Tillman to bowl frames 6 and 7.
I tell you, she has a smile on her face, and I think she feels pretty fortunate. A well-delivered ball, but again, her foot kicked out, and she was very close to fouling once again. Nice ball. Left to number 7 for a spare break in frame number 7.
Interesting, Joe, on Sandy's information sheet, it asks whether she's a pin or spot bowler. She says she's pin and spot combined, and if you watch her when she approaches, just a second before she hits the line is when she glances down to see where she's going to throw the ball at the lane. And she fouled again.
Well, again, it was the corner. The left corner this time. She was shooting the right corner before, and you've got to execute and exaggerate it, hold it a little while, and it's the split second that foot slides another inch forward.
Should she be stepping back maybe a couple of inches?
Just the opposite. You step back, and it's going to cause you to take longer strides. When you take a longer stride, you do it a little quicker. Therefore, you're going to slide further. Which I wouldn't move either way if I were her. I'd just sort of shorten the first step, slow down the pace, which is tough to do. I mean, bowlers have to make this adjustment as this game goes on. And there's no next game for the loser, so it's a tough situation. Plus, the mind's not working real well under the pressure, Mike. If somebody could write her a note.
Well, you can't get any closer than what we've got right now. Dead flat foot tie, 75 each in the 7th frame.
3-frame match. The scores really reflect the pressure that these youth bowlers are under. When we see a mark, you'll hear the crowd get up. It's left to 4 or 5. I couldn't tell, but I don't think she moves her eyes. She's a dead pin bowler, does it say?
It says pin bowler.
Yeah, I don't think she moves her eyes.
Stacey credits her mom for her bowling expertise. Whereas Sandy and the same thing credits her dad with helping her the most in the bowling game.
Kind of gives you little goosebumps when you read the line here where it says the greatest moment in bowling, and one of the last things she writes, and today my last time as a youth bowler. And that's after 14 years, so whether we can relate to it or not, it's just a big moment in a young person's life.
Nice try. And Sandy.
Now here we're going to come to a situation where she's reaching for a corner pin. Let's watch and see if she fights it at the line. No, but you see she came up early and the ball went left.
And she falls 1 pin behind, 85-84. Both of our bowlers have 1 mark, that being a strike. First frame for Stacey, as you see there. And the 6th frame, rather, for Sandy.
She actually moved back, Mike. Her heel, the heel of her shoe is actually about 2 inches off the end of the approach.
So Sandy now has a strike in the 6th and a strike in the 9th. And here's Stacey to finish out in the 9th and 10th. Got a little bit of hope. Bowlers in chronological years are young, but they've bowled a lot of years. Sandy Tillman started when she was 3. She's now 17. That's 14 years, and the same thing with Stacey. She's been bowling for 14 years.
28 years of bowling experience out there, under as much pressure as this age bowler can really bowl under.
10 more for Stacey. She doesn't leave many pins on the deck. She's not getting a lot of marks here, but she's also not leaving a lot of wood. And that helps keep her in the match up to this point.
The strange part of this match, Mike, is there has not been a spare. There has not been a spare.
That's our 4th strike for the match. 2 each. For Stacey Palmer and Sandy Tillman.
The folks are still as good as the people, Mike. We have a 1-pin match, actually, with for Stacey Bowling, her strike off in the 10th frame, Sandy Tillman with a mark. Stacey having a 1-pin lead, and that's a big pin at this point. If she were to spare a 10 count, getting her 115, Sandy must mark. So there you see the reverse in the pressure again, where Stacey actually stepped on the approach in the 10th frame with the pressure all on her. And in one ball has thrown it right back in Sandy's lap.
Almost a second.
Well, what she's done by breaking that 9 is she cannot lose unless Sandy spares.
Now Stacey Palmer gets one more ball.
Well, it's up to Sandy. She needs a spare and 2. And not to put it in anybody's mind, but remember, she is fouled twice. The adrenaline is flowing. That thought is probably erased from her mind because of the excitement and the pressure packed right at this point.
Well, here's Sandy Tillman. Boy, she came awful close to the line again.
I didn't fall off my chair. I was sort of sucking in there because her foot, well, she knew she had to perform. You know, she had to execute, and she stayed down and went through the ball, and when she releases, it drags her foot forward.
Well, let's see what happens here. She needs the spare, as you mentioned.
Heartbreak. Heartbreak. She hits it, she loses by 2. And you have Stacey as our Division I Baltimore area champion.
115-113 over Sandy Tillman. Well, it was close all the way, and Stacey Palmer has taken another step towards winning this 12th annual Duckpin Youth Invitational Tournament. We'll be back with another match for you coming up right after this.